She doesn't want to be understood. She wants to be felt. If you're searching for logic, you'll never survive a woman's desire. What truly excites her isn't what you might expect. It's not muscles, money, or compliments. It's tension and mystery. It's the man she can't quite figure out. She won't admit this to you because her desire isn't spoken. It's triggered. It's activated by your stillness, your emotional control, the silent spaces between your words where her imagination begins to fill in what you haven't even said. These are the rules no one talks about because most men don't even see them. But once you do, she'll start to crave you and dream about you. She won't even know why. Desire is born where certainty ends. The moment she's sure she has you is the moment her desire starts to wither. Not her love or appreciation, but that raw, electric, heart-pounding hunger. It dies in the hands of predictability. Female desire doesn't flourish in security. It thrives in tension, mystery, and the unresolved. Do you know why the nice guy often finishes last? Because he's too quick to respond, too eager to explain. And he gives her certainty before she's even begun to feel anything. True desire is born in the sacred space between what she feels and what she's not sure she's allowed to feel. You don't have to be toxic or cold, but you do need to remain unpredictable. The Stoic truth is, the more she knows you want her, the less she has to feel. Her nervous system relaxes too early, and the tension that creates lust fades into an emotional flatline. It's not that she doesn't like you, it's that she no longer has to earn you. Women don't crave what they already possess. They crave uncertainty. With boundaries, not chaos, but unresolved intensity. When she finds herself wondering, why didn't he text me back? What's he thinking? Did I say too much? That's when desire is truly alive. It isn't logical, it's biological. She needs to feel like she's leaning in, not because you're pulling away, but because you're not chasing. You're living and in motion, and she's not quite sure where she stands. That feeling of not knowing is the sweet spot where her fantasies take shape. Most men destroy this too soon. They overshare, overcommit, and overpromise. They kill the suspense and become emotionally obvious. They show all their cards too early and then wonder why she stopped texting. Here's the paradox. She never fully relaxes around the man she fantasizes about. And she will never fantasize about the man she completely relaxes around too early. So what should you do? Slow everything down? Move with intention, not impulse. Flirt with your eyes, not just your words. Respond when you choose to, not when she expects it. When she asks what you're thinking, just smile and say, "Not ready to share that yet." Now, her mind fills in the silence. Now, she's leaning in. Now, she's dreaming about you at night because you've left a gap that she needs to fill. This isn't a game. It's energetic contrast. The man who provides this contrast, warm but not desperate, attentive but not available on command, interested but not emotionally exposed too soon, is the man who activates her. He understands the first rule of female desire. It doesn't live in certainty, it lives in suspense. It begins the moment she's no longer sure she has you. She wants you to lead her somewhere she's afraid to go. She'll never say it aloud, but the man who makes her feel safest is also the one who makes her feel a little out of control. Not in a reckless way, but in a directional way. Her body doesn't respond to indecision. Her desire isn't activated by a man who asks for a roadmap. It's activated by the man who becomes the map and dares to lead her somewhere she didn't expect. This is the rule no one tells you. Her desire isn't for safety. It's for leadership into emotional danger. She wants to follow, even if she pretends otherwise. Even if her mouth says, "I'm independent," her nervous system still craves a man who moves first, who walks into a room with confidence, who orders with calm, and who makes decisions without checking her reaction. He's the man who says, "Come here," instead of, "Is this okay?" This isn't about force or control, it's about direction. A woman isn't turned on by softness alone. She's turned on by the structure that leads her into softness, a man who makes her feel like she can finally let go of the wheel. The way her eyes speak, she's waiting for you to notice. The way her breathing slows when you're near, she's waiting for you to lean in. The way she stops talking when you touch her hand. She's waiting for you to do what she can't ask for. Her deepest desires live in the unspoken. In surrender, in being moved into emotion by someone stronger than the stories she's told herself. She wants to be kissed before she realizes she gave permission. She wants to be held in a way that silences her mind. She wants to be told, "I like the way you hesitate." It's honest, and to feel seen in her fear. That fear, that hesitation, is where her deepest fantasies reside. The only man who can unlock them is the one who walks confidently into them. Most men wait and ask for signs. They want certainty. They say, "I don't want to make you uncomfortable," and in doing so, they become forgettably safe. But the man who looks at her as if he knows what she wants before she does, the man who leads her energy instead of just mirroring it, that's the man who stays in her dreams. He didn't push her, he guided her, took her hand, not just physically, but emotionally, and led her into a version of herself she only shows to the right man. The trick is, she's not hiding her desire. She's protecting it. She's waiting for a man with enough emotional control to hold it without running. When you become that man, when you stop asking and start directing with a calm, grounded energy, she melts. Her body finally recognizes that. She can let go, that she doesn't have to lead this moment, and that someone else is in command. This turns her on more than she ever admit, because she's been leading her entire life making decisions, guarding herself and holding it all together. All she truly wants is a moment where she can fall apart into your presence, where you lead her somewhere unknown, and she trusts you enough to go. That's not a game or manipulation. It's energetic leadership. It's the second rule of female desire. She doesn't want to stay in control. She wants to trust your direction so much that losing control becomes the fantasy. She wants you to want her, but not too much. Yes, she wants to be desired, but the moment she feels worshipped, her desire begins to fade. It's a paradox most men never solve. She needs to feel wanted, but she only craves the man who doesn't want her too eagerly. Why? Because when a man wants her too openly, too desperately, too often, he moves out of mystery and into emotional submission, and the sexual polarity collapses. Her body isn't wired for devotion at first sight. It's wired for the uncertainty of being near a man who could want her, but hasn't fully decided yet. The nice guy says, "You're everything I've ever wanted." But the man who drives her crazy looks at her and says, "You're interesting. I'm still figuring you out." It's that small difference changes everything. She doesn't want to be a reward for neediness. She wants to be a response to your standards. She wants to be earned, but only when she senses you don't need to win her. What turns her on and fuels her fantasies? Not about what you'll do for her, but what it will take to make you choose her. Your approval is currency, and if you hand it over too quickly without effort,
without contrast,
without making her feel the tension of not having it, yet she stops feeling pulled toward you. Desire dies because you've made it too easy, female. Desire doesn't thrive in ease. It thrives in the pursuit of emotional elevation. She wants to feel like you see her, but only after she's shown you why she deserves to be seen. This isn't about being cold or manipulative. It's about emotional discipline. You want her? Of course you do, but you don't need her, and you certainly don't broadcast your obsession before she's shown you her soul. That restraint, the tension, that calm hunger held just beneath the surface, that's seductive. It's the energy that says, "Yes, I want you, but I won't chase you. You'll feel it when I decide the moment is right." Now she leans in because you've made your desire feel earned, not automatic, but precise. When she senses your attraction, isn't a default, but a conscious choice, you're still holding back. She becomes obsessed with earning it. That's what keeps her up at night, not the guy who pours his heart out on day one, but the one who looks at her like he could ruin her. Confidence and still hasn't decided whether he will. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to move. Stoic men understand this. You don't flutter with attention. You create a drought so every drop feels sacred. You don't smother her with affection. You give her your eyes, but not your approval, your attention, but not your full emotional submission. Not yet. When you finally give it, when you finally lean in and say, "Now you've got me," She melts because she knows how rare that moment was. Her desire is no longer based on what she sees in herself, but on what she sees in you. That's the third rule of female desire. She wants to be wanted, but she only desires the man whose want is never guaranteed. If you've ever made her feel something just by being near you, comment "She felt my silence." Like this video if you're finished playing her game and ready to make her play yours. Subscribe if you want to master the real rules of attraction.